And quite frankly, to me, I've seen this type before. He looks a little antifa-ish, doesn't he? All right, law enforcement, they're trying to do their best, I assume. Are they explaining away things? You know, he was caught wearing women's clothing. Here's how the police put it.
During the attack, Crimo was dressed in women's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity and help him during the escape with the other people who were fleeing the chaos.
Or maybe, like leftists all over the place, he liked wearing women's clothes, even though he's a he. By the way, he identifies, at least in some social media postings, as a liberal. All right, I am a liberal. Now, is this, look, he's crazy if he did this, all right? This is a horribly deranged person. But I do notice they're not talking about motivations here. They do, however, whenever it seems that the shooter might at some point voted for a Republican, right?
Okay, so we had to engage with this because you got to appreciate that dude, the like third tier clone of Sean Hannity, saying he identified as a liberal once. And look at the liberal media. They won't admit it when there's a political motivation potentially. You notice he didn't show the guy wearing the Trump flag or at the Trump rally. It's weird that slipped his mind and he left it out. Now, interestingly, yesterday when we talked about this guy, what did we do? We identified the Trump flag and the Trump rally. We also said that he liked the Joe Biden video at some point, and so it was difficult to say with any certainty what his political motivations are. But they made it a little bit purer and cleaner for the Newsmax audience there. But that was just a little thing at the end. They also did, JR, I don't know if you know, on the show, I predicted that they were going to take that thing where he put on a female disguise to hide himself as he fled his mass shooting and pretend that he was trans or a transvestite or God only knows what. And that is indeed what they've done. Except that they went wider than that. They said that this is a thing that leftists do. Leftists just dress up in women's clothing or something. That's a trend, I don't know. So Sophie's a leftist, that's true. She does wear women's clothing quite often. But anyway, that they found the thing to focus on. There's always going to be some little thing, JR, to focus on to excuse the fact that even someone who gives off as many warning signs as any human possibly could can walk into a store, get a weapon of war, and then go and kill as many people as he wants. That's a major problem that needs to be solved, but we can't focus on that because he was wearing a skirt or something. So let's talk about that for the next week. What do you think?
So there was one point about that whole thing that Greg Kelly just went through that really stuck out because he went to these. Let's go to the police officer that talked about how he dressed up in women's clothing to get away from the scene. And the police officer, who you would think if you're going to go to a police officer who's talking about what happened on the scene, that you're going to him for the real information. You're going to him for the story. You're going to him for the details that we should believe. I mean, he's a trustworthy man in blue. Goes to the police officer. The police officer says he dressed up in women's clothing so he could escape and cover up his tattoos and not be identified for who he was. He said that in the video that Greg Kelly went to, came back from the video and said, or maybe it's because he's a lib and he's a cross-dresser. That's what you got from the video you went to give us information, and you came back and opposed your own video.
That's amazing.
Again, you send this signal that, hey, we just went to an official video of what happened, yet I'm gonna reshape what you just saw. But not enough people paid attention to realize that that's what he did. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm not sure that he watched that.
It's a simple switch. It's not even a switch. It's just come back and disagreeing with the video you just said to listen to. That's all that happened.
Yeah, but no, the cop is wrong. He basically did what like the guy did in the third Lord of the Rings prequel, the Hobbit movie or whatever. Oh no, I think that's an identity thing. And I think that that's definitely, okay, again, you're identifying all these people that you think are so crazy. Why aren't we taking them seriously? Greg Kelly, what would you like to do? What would you like to do to take them seriously? Would you like to stop them from buying guns? I think that seems very reasonable. Would you like to do that? No, you don't want to do that.
I was thinking the same thing. Hey, okay, he's a lib that's a total Biden supporter, man. He hates MAGA. And he got this gun, multiple guns in his hands, and he started firing on innocent people. Take his guns away too. Yeah, it's really weird how they think that I just want to take conservatives' guns away. No, anybody who has these guns should not have these guns.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's just absolute BS. I don't know if it's just a knee-jerk thing. I don't generally try to be knee-jerk. I want to start wearing women's clothing just to bother them, because it really does seem to bother them. Who cares what anybody wears? Who cares what anybody wears, especially people that you don't know? Who cares? As people are saying in the chat, did Rudy Giuliani become a leftist when he put on a women's dress
100%.
to make out with Donald Trump? Did Madison Cawthorn become a leftist when he was wearing the lingerie? Wear whatever you want. Who the hell cares? Do you know the main reason that more men don't wear women's clothing? Because they couldn't pull it off. You have to like expose your arms and your back and your calves and all that stuff. And most guys just don't have the back arms or calf to pull it off. Let's keep it real. Most guys couldn't wear women's clothes. Women's clothes, you know what they are? Interesting. There's a lot more variety. You know what? I bet it would really frustrate them if we started doing it. I'm considering it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.